Live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever platform you're using. Let's do this. We are ready. Tuesday, the Monday after Thanksgiving. We did not do a show yesterday because obviously that's Thanksgiving Monday, giving thanks all weekend for our life, for the many blessings that are in our life, and the many blessings that we are giving to our life and the people around us. So we're here to make this life abundant and blessed and give you the best of what we got here with our hearts, our minds, our soul, and our life experiences. So Instagram, get ready. Facebook, get ready. Every platform, get ready. We've got a great week ahead of, great couple shows ahead of you for the next 3-4 days. And I'm excited where we could take this.
Okay, so press and record on this episode in 3, 2, 1.
Leaders and healers from around the globe, from around the universe. I'm your host, Anthony Cheam. Welcome to the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast. Yes, I'm your host, Anthony Cheam, life coach, speaker, trainer, author, love bug, many different talented, loving human being that just wants to serve the world, to serve the deepest needs of the entire universe, sentient beings all alike, regardless of race, color, sex, or creed. We are here live to you on many different platforms. We're here to help you claim your power, clarify your purpose, and cultivate your deepest, widest, and highest passions so you can ultimately show up as the best version or better version of yourself at the very least, so you then can help and inspire others to be the best and inspire others to be the best version of themselves on a high level, deep level as humanly possible. Thank you for joining us this week. It is Tuesday, October 9th. We have a great week of shows in store for you. We're going to talk about four basic life hacks to master your life, to master your schedule, to master your time, and experience greater fulfillment and joy in your daily life. Because let's face it, all the stuff we talk about in terms of knowledge and wisdom and all these little strategies do not work unless you are deploying them, unless you are applying them on a daily basis, where they become habitual during your life, habitual during your day, because it's the daily small activities that lead you to a different destination. So we're here to provide you four easy life hacks to master your life. And the first life hack for today on Tuesday, October 9th on the Power, Purpose, and Passion podcast is how to literally master your day, how to master your life. How to master your life is to master your day and plan and prepare ahead of time. That is basically the first life hack. And how do you do that? And Cam, I know you're pointing at me, Cam. I want to introduce my brother in arms, my partner in power, Cameron Dubé. Thank you for joining us. What's up, man? I'm just so excited. I just went was going to go right into it.
No,
Sorry,
it's great. No, you can't complain. No, what I wanted to say also is that by mastering your life, a lot of it is mastering what comes in, what your mind is being fed. Because I mean, there's the argument of nature versus nurture, but really we are a product of what we've seen, what we've been exposed to, what we've the way we've been brought up. And so, I mean, as a 20-year-old, I am a literal spitting image of all of that stuff. And I'm just now getting out of that and becoming an individual and making my own conclusions and thinking for myself and feeding my mind with what I want, like the food that I want to be fed with, right? So, yeah, I'm really excited for this episode. Sorry to cut you off there. I just wanted to mention that one little thing.
That's okay. That's all right. So life hack number 1, and again, for the people that are watching this podcast, either actively or passively, subscribe, comment, like, share. You can subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, on iTunes. If you want to comment, ask a question. I'm here to be your life coach. I'm here to be your performance coach. I'm here to be your love coach. Whatever it might be for you. I've basically studied a lot of material, and all I want to do is share it with the world in a very easy, in-depth process, through podcasting, through whatever means necessary, whether it be books or seminars or coaching, whatever it might be. I'm here to provide you the best of what I've learned through books, seminars, my own coaching, my own suffering, my own experiences. So life hack number 1, how to master your life by mastering your day. And one of the things that I do personally is I plan my day ahead of time, well before I actually do it. When is the best time to live your life? But like, do it ahead of time. Plan it the night before and say, okay. And I remember doing a course called The Time of Your Life by Tony Robbins. And it was an audio program. It was a great audio program. What he did was this. He focused not on your to-do list on a daily basis. Because how many people out there have actually done their to-do list and completely felt empty and unfulfilled after doing your to-do list, like 10 things in a row? Like, I've done it where I'm like, okay, I've done my shopping. I've done my honey-do list. I've done this, I've done that. But then I was like, man, I don't feel good even after doing it. I mean, I feel accomplished in terms of finishing that to-do list, but in terms of feeling fulfilled and happy. So what I suggest for you to do is think backwards. Rather than think about what to do, think about what you want to experience in this day, right now. So the result you're after. So the one thing I learned from this time of your life program was what Tony Robbins calls the RPM plan. The results are focused, purpose-driven, massive action plan. The R stands for results, P stands for purpose, and then number 3 is your massive action plan. Look for your results first. And look at the RPM. What I love about the RPM plan is this. R means RPM. What's the RPM? You turn up the RPMs, you go faster, you live with much more speed and energy and drive. So think about what result you're after. So maybe wake up in the morning and ask yourself this little life hack question. What are 1 or 2 or 3 things I want to experience today? What's the result I'm after today? And go deep. One of my results is to connect with my kids on a daily basis at the deeper level, tell them I love them like 10, 15 times a day, hug them 10, 15 times a day, go to sleep with love, wake up with love. That's the result I'm after. Why? And then my P is my purpose. Why do I want that? Because I want to give my kids an experience of an amazing father, amazing man. And what love's all about is about giving, not getting, but giving of yourself, your gifts, your time, your genius, whatever it might be, to the people around you. And I want to give them that example. I didn't focus on, I got to spend 10 minutes with my daughter. That's my to-do list. Or I got to drive my daughter to dance practice. Or I got to drive my kids to school. That's not the result I'm after. That's my to-do list, but that's not the result I'm after. And I often tell parents, I say, listen, if you're driving your kids to, for you parents out there, to soccer, is your result to drive them to soccer or to connect deeper at the deepest level with your children, to play games with them, to laugh with them, to teach them, to embody what a strong, beautiful, genuine parent is all about? That to me is a great result, because you can get the to-do list done, but never get your result, which is why I was feeling unfulfilled. So one of the things I do is I ask, what do I want? I want to experience unbelievably abundant in my relationship with my wife and my kids. The second result, I want to have the energy and vitality to serve my clients at the most powerful levels possible. I want to be able to give the best of Anthony, even better than I did yesterday. I want to have the energy, the physical energy, the mental focus, the emotional drive to serve my clients deeper, wider, with much more precision and impact their lives. What's the third thing? I want to, this actually reverses. My number one thing is to connect spiritually with the divine, with God, with the universe. So I meditate. That's my very first thing that I do first thing in the morning. I don't meditate. That's not on my to-do list. My result is to connect with the divine. And one of the ways I do that is through meditation and through exercise, through yoga, through Tai Chi, through deep breathing exercises, stuff like that. Repeating affirmations, mantras. Those are all to-dos. But if you don't look at your results first, focus on the result you're after, then why it is you want that result, and make it a strong purpose. We did a podcast on purpose, and then go through an action step, a massive action plan to get your result. Most people go towards their massive action plan first without knowing what it is they want and what they're after and why it is they're on this journey. Because, there's a great guy I saw speak live. His name is Simon Sinek. He wrote that one book, and he's got a great TED Talk. I forget what the book's called. The Why, The Power of Why, I think it is. Start with Why, I think it is. And he talks about why purpose is so much more important than your to-do list. Why it's so much more even you're after, or the outcome you're after. Because purpose is what drives human beings into action. When you know the reason why, you can almost encounter and traverse and conquer almost anyhow. So RPM, result, what do you want? Why do you want it? And go after that massive action plan. And here's the great thing. I mean, Cam and I were talking about this prior to the podcast starting. And one of the things we talked about was this, how you can combine 2 activities into one. So him and I talk about this too. University on wheels. When I drive my car, I'm listening to audio programs. I mean, I remember hearing one guy, what got me into that initially, about 15, 16 years ago, was my mentor telling me to do that. But what really kind of just concretely solidified my commitment to listening to audios while I'm driving was this guy. He drive 2 hours to work and 2 hours back. He ended up learning 9 or 10 different languages while driving to work and back to work. And he said 90% of the time he did it all from his car. 9 to 10 different languages. Think about how crazy that is. Think of what you could do in 4 hours time. So if you look at your life and you go, all right, I could learn a new language. What about if I'm at the dental office or the doctor's office? I can read a powerful book, or I can, as you know, Cameron and I are both musicians. You've got 10 minutes to wait for an appointment at home. Read a book. Cameron's showing Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Great book. You can learn a new instrument doing 15, 20 minutes a day. That's literally all it takes. So one life hack number one, the basis of it is this: know what you want ahead of time. And then the result you're after. Know the result, why you want it, put an action plan together, and start with one. If as an example, I'll just give me 2 seconds there, Cam. I know you want to kind of put your input too, but two things that I love to do. Is there a time during your day where you can actually, while you're washing dishes, listen to audios? Or if you don't like cleaning the house, can you add to the activity of cleaning your home? Or can you listen to music while you're working out or you're cleaning your home? Something that you don't like to do on a daily basis, add something to it to make it more enjoyable. That's a life hack too. So this is actually two combined life hacks. Cam, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, in my life, ever since, so in late 2014, I quit my band because I got into this book, Think and Grow Rich. And basically what it told me was, I don't need success, I need to be happy. And the paradox is, whatever makes me the most happy is what I will be mostly successful in, because the number one step is desire. So the thing that I desire the most, that is the most likely for me to have success. So quit the band, and I actually got in a car accident like 2 days later. I was in the hospital thing, and I was in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. That's totally fine. Yeah. Not a big deal. Could have been bad, but it wasn't. Yeah, and so after that happened, it was sort of like a push from the universe saying, okay, like, go, yes, manage your life, master your life. It's your life. Like, I felt like it was a brand new start, like reborn afterwards. So I would say, if there's anything that encapsulates this life hack, obviously getting the desire down, getting the purpose and the why and everything about why you're doing it. Once you have that, like you said, listen to audio tapes on wheels while you're driving. Listen to this podcast literally the moment you wake up. Don't let yourself think. Put something inspiring on. Put something that will teach you on, because as an example, I forget where I heard this, but someone just said the simple thing, like, if I was to learn every single day the dangers of alcohol more and more, just getting into that subject, I might cut down my alcohol intake 30%. And so the more you learn about successful principles and habits and rituals and what people do and happiness and all this stuff, you might be 30% happier, and you might put 30% more effort into your own self-care. Of course. Little things like that are huge. And once you get to this point where you know what you want really badly, you know the result you're after, and you know exactly why you want it, not only should you put podcasts on and stuff, but I really think just being present and realizing how distracted you really are will blow you away. Like little things like how often you open the fridge when you pass by the kitchen and just look at it. Just how often you do little things where you're just scrolling through Instagram or whatever else it might be. Be absolutely present, and you'll realize that you have a free probably 3 hours a day.
Oh, for
an entire 3 hours of just like adding that up in a 24-hour span. 3 hours of just nonsense that you do all the time.
Yes, of course.
Cut out the nonsense, and you realize how much control you actually have in your life. And you realize how controlled you've been by the environment. You know, like it's unbelievable. So I just wanted to.
No, for sure. And you know what, Cam, like the people on Instagram that are on right now, they commented how they can't hear you. Our next podcast will include Cam the next time, just so you guys can hear. We had some kind of what are they called, lags in the internet, so I speed up my internet as well, and just so our next podcast will include Cam on the Instagram, so you guys can hear what he has to say. Basically what he was saying is this: if when you know your result and what you're after ahead of time, and you focus on what result you're after, whether it be happiness or connection with your kids or having the energy and vitality to conquer this world, to conquer your dreams, to go after what it is you want, once you know that result, your brain looks for it. I want to be happy today. I want to be strong. I want to be vital. I want to go after my dreams, whatever it is you want. And then you put a purpose behind it. And man, desire and purpose coupled together, man, it is an unstoppable force. But what do most people do? Wake up. They wake up feeling, oh, I don't want to go to work. And they focus on what they don't want. They focus on what they fear. They focus on, what their boss said to them or what their mom said to them or what their dad said. And then it puts them in this disempowering, deactivated state, which really robs them of their joy. So what we want to do, again, ahead of time is focus on what result you're after, focus on why you want it, and put an action plan together. And you know what the reality is? This podcast is available to you for download, and you can listen to this podcast while you're driving, while you are cleaning your home, while you are in the washroom, while you're taking a bath, while you're taking a shower, when you're running outside, exercising, whatever you're doing to empower your mind, to empower your body. I mean, as I said, I'm listening to in my car. I have tens of thousands of hours of audio programs that I'm listening to constantly over and over, feeding my mind, feeding my brain, feeding my emotions. So I am amped up and cranked up so I can serve at the greatest level. If I'm just listening to random news, and let me guess, nothing wrong with news, but let me tell you, 90% of the news that's out there is of negative nature. So be very careful. I'm not saying don't listen to it. What I'm saying is, at the very least, equalize it with some sort of positive message that's going to empower you, that's going to stabilize you, that's going to crank your emotions up so you then can act towards what it is you want. So life hack number 1, do what is necessary to get your result ahead of time. So maybe tonight, focus on, what do I want tomorrow to be like? What are 3 things I want tomorrow? I want to experience more love. I want to be healthier tomorrow. I want to whatever. I want to make 10 more sales, or I want whatever it might be. And then go, why do I want that? And then you go to, I want that because, here's the reason why I want those results. And then you go towards a massive action plan to go after that result. So your mind is focused on the result and on the purpose, and you're going to feel so much more alive and energized to go after that. And that's the key. That's how I live my life daily. That is how I crank up my day. I live my life, how I serve, how I breathe, and how I just undulate through every act of life. And that's just how I live. And I habituated that pattern because I focus on what I want, not on what I don't want. And I'm not on my to-do list, but on what I want, why I want it, and a massive action plan to get me towards that result I'm after.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say one more thing before we wrap up the podcast.
Sure.
So I'm sure you guys have experienced when a thought comes into your mind, it leads to 5 different thoughts. And then it's just this whole thing that goes on it takes you on a big thought ride, and it's like a circus of crazy thoughts, and you're just like all over the place. And then you realize you've been sitting there staring at the wall for 10 minutes, and you're like, oh, I have something to do. And then you just think, you're constantly thinking, whether it be in bed at night or in the shower or wherever. And I think the same thing happens with our actions. You sit down, you go on your phone once, and then all of a sudden you've visited 10 different apps and you've watched 5 different videos, and then, it's just like one thing leads to another.
Yes.
So if you change your thoughts, your habitual thoughts, whether that be through emotion, like a literal burning desire inside of you that you can't stop thinking about this thing that you want, which is ideal. Like if you can find that, you are well above most people, because that is the fuel. That is like the rocket fuel to taking over your mind for once. And so if you change your habitual thoughts, like you said, you see the world differently. You take different actions. You'll stop drinking as much alcohol if you just learn about alcohol all the time. You'll start meditating if you learn about meditation all the time.
You got it.
And it's just like, I literally, I'll just sort of move the camera for 2 seconds. Up there is a list of 13 things, 13 reasons and 13 things to do to get better sleep. So an entire 13 things telling me why sleep is important and how I can get the best sleep ever. Let me tell you, I get better sleep than you. I get really good sleep. I take it seriously. And if that wasn't on my wall, I probably wouldn't take it seriously. But I have to read it all the time, and I'm constantly being etched in my mind that sleep is really, really important. So, essentially change your mindset, and then your actions will just follow, whether you like it or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you know what it takes, let me reiterate a principle. It's not about to make life change in your life, any life change that you want. It doesn't take this monumental step. It takes one little small step, one little ripple in the pond. You know, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with that one step. It's, again, I love the metaphor of changing. If you and I were to fly to Hawaii right now and I changed the trajectory of our flight pattern by half a degree, we would not arrive in Hawaii. We'd be a complete different destination. By what? Changing one little degree or half a degree. By change that one half degree, you change your thoughts, you change your actions, and you completely change the destination over a lifetime. So to take your day, take an inventory of your day. If you might have 2 hours of net time, what they call no extra time, or if you have 2 hours of where you're just kind of sitting watching TV, maybe take 15 minutes out of that 2 hours to learn to play piano, or to learn to knit, or learn to sew, or learn how to use the computer, or learn whatever. You wouldn't believe what you can do in 15 minutes a day for the rest of your life for the next year. What you could do, what you could learn. I remember one of my original mentors said, Anthony, learn one word every day for the next year. That's 365 words that you could implement into your vocabulary. That increases your confidence. Even if you just use 10 of those words in your everyday vocabulary, let me tell you something, your confidence boosts because you're able to express yourself verbally, express yourself emotionally through words. And what that does to your confidence, they did a study a long time ago, and I'll end here. They did a study where they studied these inmates in prison, and what they found was the more limited the vocabulary, the higher predilection towards bad behavior. Because they couldn't express themselves verbally, they would express themselves kinesthetically. But as their verbal vocabulary started to improve, the behavior changed with it in a positive way. That's one little life hacking, one word every single day. I get a little thing by dictionary.com that gives me a word at 8 a.m. every single day. I may not use it. I may not look at it, but sometimes I'll look a glimpse at it and I'll read the definition of it. Oh, that was a cool word to learn. I might not even use it, but I learn something new every day. Therefore, I'm growing. My ability to contribute enhances as well. So thank you for joining us today. We hope you liked it. We hope you loved it. We hope you got a lot of juice and a lot of wisdom from it, a lot of knowledge. Again, subscribe, comment, like, share this podcast. We want to serve. We want to give you the best of our wisdom and our knowledge and our experience. So you're to continue to upgrade and evolution, live it up with power, purpose, and passion. Thank you and God bless. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow for life hack number 2. Thank you, guys.